From the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estates, this is MBN TV. Welcome to the Mega News at 6. News coming to you live from our studios here. My name is El Samuels. The headlines.
Lands Ministry confirms probe into Galamsey extortion allegations. In business, government transfers over 4 billion Ghana cedis Cocoa Road debt to finance roads ministries. And on the international front, Minnesota immigration enforcement surge is ending, Trump border Cha says.
Details of the stories and more coming up in the next 5 or 10 minutes of your time. Government has begun investigation into allegations of extortion and facilitation of illegal mining activity, popularly known as Galamsey, following the airing of a Joy News documentary.
The documentary detailed claims of an extortion scheme allegedly involving local officials who were accused of enabling illegal mining operations in parts of the country. The media relations officer at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Pakwesi Shandoff, confirmed that the investigation is expected to examine the specific allegations presented in the documentary and determine whether any laws or regulations governing mining activities were breached. Following the reception of the copies of the petition and the footages, an investigation has accordingly begun. In due course, I am sure the outcome of the investigation and the necessary action will be duly communicated. A thorough and biased inquiry has begun. The outcome will be out in no time. He dismissed concerns that those found culpable would escape punishment, insisting the government has the political will to act. If the government of the day can go after its own people or members of the National Democratic Congress, clearly there is the political will to deal with the issues of this nature, he said.
Francis Tenoy, the president of the Marketing Cocoa Cooperative Farmers Association, has urged cocoa farmers to accept the newly announced producer price of $41,392 per ton, describing the current period as a bad time for the sector.
Speaking in an interview on Thursday, February 12, he acknowledged the challenges posed by delayed payments, but expressed cautious optimism about the government's proposed financial policies. Looking at the policies the finance minister has brought, one of them is that we wanted to go for bonds and not syndicated loans. When you take bonds, it takes 10 to 20 years, so it means the money will always be in the accounts for us whenever cocoa is ready, he said. He emphasized that farmers are willing to accept the current price, but warned that continued delays in future payments could erode trust in the system. Farmers are accepting that, but what we do not want to hear next year is that we go and sell cocoa and face the same delays. If that happens again, we are going to lose trust, he noted. He also highlighted the importance of government compliance with the finance minister's directives, including adding value to at least 50% of locally produced cocoa before export. Currently, we have nothing to complain about because of prevailing world market prices, so we are telling all our farmers that we are in bad times and need to accept the current price and pray that the government will follow the guidelines, he said. The government announced the new producer price for cocoa for the remainder of the 2025 to 2026 crop season in a move aimed at stabilizing the sector and supporting farmers. The Producer Price Review Committee approved the new rate, which takes effect from Thursday, February 12, translating to 2,587 Ghana cedis per bag.
Kente weavers in Bonri in Ashanti region have called on government to declare a National Kente Day following the recent establishment of National Fugu Day.
The move aims to promote indigenous textiles, preserve Ghana's cultural heritage, and support local artisans. The call comes after the Ghana Tourism Authority announced Wednesdays as National Fugu Day, intended to celebrate the northern woven fabric and correct earlier misconceptions that mischaracterized it as merely a blouse during his 3-day official visit to Zambia. While commending the initiative to promote Fugu, the Born Weavers argue that Kente, which is globally recognized as a symbol of Ghanaian identity, royalty, and tradition, deserves similar national recognition. The declaration of a National Kente Day would ensure inclusiveness, boost patronage for locally woven kente, create jobs, and help sustain the centuries-old crafts passed down through generations, the waivers stated. They also raised concerns over the growing influx of fake and printed kente fabrics, mostly imported, which they say is undermining their livelihoods. The artisans are therefore urging the government to ban or impose stricter controls on imitation kente designs, describing the situation as a major threat to the survival of the industry. The appeal highlights the ongoing efforts by Ghanaian artisans to preserve cultural heritage while advocating for policies that protect local craftsmanship and ensure the sustainability of traditional industries.
Now let's move our way to the business desk, where Cabinet has directed an immediate transfer of Cocoa Road liabilities amounting to about 4.35 billion Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Ministry of Finance in a move aimed at restructuring the Cocoa.
Addressing the press on Thursday,
committee.
12, Finance Minister Dr. Kezo Latofosin explained that the decision follows a comprehensive rationalization of Cocoa Road contracts awarded over the past decade. Between 2014 and 2024, Cocoa Board awarded contracts worth 26.5 billion Ghana cedis, with 21.5 billion cedis of that figure committed between 2018 and 2021. Dr. Fosin noted that under Ghana's 2023 IMF program, Cocoa Board's road contract exposure of 21.7 billion Ghana cedis was to be reduced to 6.9 billion cedis. However, he stated that the previous board and management failed to carry out the required rationalization exercise. He disclosed that the exercise has now been completed under the supervision of the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Roads and Highways. According to him, the joint review significantly reduced Cocoa Board's exposure on cocoa roads from 21.7 billion cedis to 4.35 billion cedis. Cabinet has also directed that with immediate effect, there should be a transfer of road liabilities worth 4.35 billion Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Ministry of Finance.
On the international front, President Donald Trump's border advisor, Tom Hillman, has announced that the immigration operations in Minnesota will soon end.
Trump agreed to stop the operation, and Hillman said he would stay for a short time to ensure everything ended smoothly. The operation, called Operation Metro Surge, led to the arrest of more than 4,000 undocumented immigrants. Hillman said some of them had committed serious crimes. He described the operation as a success. However, many people protested after 2 U.S. citizens were killed by immigration officers. Some leaders and residents said the operation caused fear, economic problems, and emotional pain. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said he is hopeful about the reduction of federal officers, but believes the operation caused serious damage. He plans to set up a $10 million fund to help small businesses that were affected. There has also been disagreements in Congress about how immigration officers should work. Some Democrats want changes on how ICE officers operate, while some Republicans support reducing the number of officers to lower tensions.
And that brings us to the end of the news at 6. News was live across all our social media handles, MBN 360, YouTube, Facebook, and X. But now, time for us to move to the Weather Center to bring you the weather, and this update brought to you in association with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. So welcome back. It's now time to turn our attention to the MBN Weather Center to bring you the weather update, the impactful 24-hour update. And this morning, partly cloudy conditions are expected over most areas in the southern half of the country this morning. During the early hours, mist and fog patches are likely to develop over the coast, hilly grounds, and forest zones. As the day progresses into the afternoon, bright and sunny weather will prevail over much of southern Ghana. However, from a late afternoon into the evening, localized thunderstorms or rains are expected to affect some parts in the middle and transition sectors of the country. The northern sector will experience dry and hazy weather of varying intensity throughout the forecast period. Now, the temperatures for the next 24 hours, the coast will experience a minimum of 21 degrees and maximum of 33. Forest, 20 degrees Celsius, maximum 35 degrees Celsius. Transition, 21 degrees Celsius, maximum 36. Northern, 24 degrees, minimum, maximum 39. From this week, daytime temperatures will have a gradual increase across the country. And now the weather and its update. And so just before I take leave of you, a recap of our headlines.
Lands Ministry confirms probe into Galamsey extortion allegations. In business, government transfers over 4 billion Ghana cedis Cocoa Road debt to finance roads ministries. And on the international front, Minnesota immigration enforcement surge is ending, Trump border Cha says.
My name is El Samuels. Coming up, we'll bring the sports update. Stay with us.